This is booth building 101. This is our first attempt, so you'll learn from our mistakes, in which we will make none. Today we've got booth builders Heather.
Hi.
And Jacob. And Adrian. And what's your name? What's your name again? And Amanda. So we're going to start off, as you can see, we've started putting all the different pieces into piles. So we recommend doing that first. The end product is going to be 2 wave walls and 1 large tower in the center. So we'll divide up into groups of 2, so whether you have 4 people or 2 people, you can split up. And I would take on, if you're going to have 2 wave walls at your particular show, I would start off with that first, because that's kind of probably the more challenging part. So let's just start by taking all these pieces, and the waves are actually broken into 2 parts, so you have to just snap them together. They're already tied together, you just have to pull them apart and snap together, like so. You can see, once it's together, it will make a giant S. See? So we're going to go ahead and do all of those right now and lay those out so we can see what goes on. So now we've put all of the pieces together as far as just the wave, snapping them into 1. And we have divided them into piles. All of the, if you notice on the ends of each of the wave bars, it has a number or a number or letter on it. And the big pile we have here has like a number 1 on one side and a number 2 on the other. We'll keep those separate because we have 4 other piles that we have an A stack, a B stack, a C stack, and a D stack. And it just says like A1, B1, you know, D, C, and so on. Those are basically just for your top bars and your bottom bars, because those are going to be a little bit different. So we're going to keep those aside for right now, and we'll start working on the middle of the wall first.
Okay, so now you've separated all your curves and it's time to assemble the walls. If you line them up and your wall looks like this, you've done something wrong. Chances are your numbers aren't lined up or a piece needs to be adjusted. Take one of your curves and flip it 180 degrees. If it looks like this, then you're good.
Whenever you grab your squares, they are numbered and lettered the same as your wave bars. So, for example, this one says A1, A2. So just make sure you keep that with your A wave bars or your B or whatever. And same with just the regular numbered ones. You notice here we have a couple piles, and all of those just say 1 and 2 on them, and those are going with all of the 1 and 2, which will be our central wave wall. The centerpiece constructed, and basically we just did like we told, like we have this is a 1 end, this is a 2 end, same over here, 1 end, 2 end, and the numbers match up on the corner. Now you're only going to have 1 rectangular that's just 1 and 2. The top pieces will have the letters. So now this is constructed, you see we also put in what they call a spreader bar. Again, you'll have these on the shorter ones as well. We just have a tall spreader since this is the tall piece. So this is going to be the absolute middle part, and now we're going to do the 2 smaller pieces that go on either side. So as you can see, we're almost complete working on this particular center wall here. And you notice we've got all the corners together, and we really recommend that you keep everything loose whenever you're first putting it together, and then tighten it after you have all of the screws in, because the pieces that the screws go in are actually made of kind of plastic, so you can cross thread it really easy. You don't want to like strip that out or make it any harder to put in. But as you can see here, it looks like, you know, hey, this is way too far apart. So you can do a couple things. You can either loosen this side to give you a little more slack, or these are just metal bars, so they bend just like, basically like tinfoil. They're not real strong. So all you have to do is just kind of pull it together. And then I would actually start by, I would do all the screws starting off by putting it in with your hand. And then once you get it in the thread, you know it's threaded well, then you can use the power screwdrivers that we provided to screw them in. Then once it starts getting a little too tight for that, I'd actually recommend using the little manual hex head that we have here for you. to get it really tight, because that's really the best way to get it all the way in there. You've got, this is actually one of the top or bottom walls, and you'll notice A and C are top walls and B and D are the bottom of the wall. And really the only difference is where this cable brace ends up. This cable brace is what holds the top and the bottom wall together, and it basically sandwiches the entire wall to keep the whole wall as one. So you'll run a wire through the middle of them, which I'll show you in a little bit once you have everything together. But just make sure that you kind of take note that A and C are top walls and B and D are bottom. Okay, we've went ahead and put together, this is just the skeleton without the skins on it, so you can kind of see the different parts. We have the top piece here, and we actually have the cable brace, and it's pointed down from the top piece. And we're gonna, since you won't be able to see this with the skins on, we're gonna run a cable that goes from here, and it just goes straight down through, and there's holes in the fabric, so you can see, and then that will pull everything together so the wall doesn't wall. Large funnel that's going to go in the center of the trade show floor. And basically what I'm doing here is just putting these 4 posts on this. This is the base, and it has a base label on it. These have support poles labeled on them. And then on the top, we're going to put the hub plate. And then this is going to go bolted on top of the hub. So now we've got the hub plate on the top and the base on the bottom. So now we're going to take what they call the hub, and we're going to put this on here to start creating the big top piece that goes around this. So now we're adding the support braces for the large top piece, and they are all numbered. So we've got number 5 here, number 5, slips on, and that clicks into place. Now we're going to make the large box to go around the edge, and it's recommended that this is a 2-person job. You could probably do it with 1, but you'd have to be like me to do it. So you're just going to take this, put it through the hole, and screw it in here, and the numbers do match up. So well, you can probably learn from our mistakes here. It would have probably been easier to assemble the large square when it was upside down instead of right side up. Since we have, if you have 5 or 6 people to help you put it together, it'd probably be fine, but it is a little awkward to hold still and screw in. So probably do it upside down, screw it together, and then you can flip it over. So now we're just gonna pick up the funnel, which isn't very heavy at all, surprisingly, and we're just gonna set it down right in the middle.
Make sure to fit the skin to the plate.
Okay. So we've got this stretched over the centerpiece now, and we just popped it over each of the 4 corners, and then there are 2 zippers on each side that start in the middle and zip out. And you just want to start the zippers, not zip them all the way, because once you get them started, then you can check and make sure everything is straight, and then once it's straight, you can zip all of them all the way across. So you see I've got the zipper here, and just getting it started just enough to hold it in place, and now we'll adjust it.
Now that you have the funnel built, let's attach it to the truss. You'll need to turn the funnel onto its side and bolt them together while holding both in place.
So now we have the funnel assembled with the fabric on it, just pretend like the fabric is on there, and we're ready to take that and put it in the center part. So if you look down here, we've just kind of stacked all of the pieces up here in the middle. So these are the 2 rings and the fabric that's gonna go on the pedestal. So the pedestals collapse, so it's easier for us to just pick up the centerpiece and put it over the top. So we're just gonna take this tabletop here, put it on the center, try to get everything out of the way so the 4 bolts are showing. And now we're just gonna take the tower and lift it up, and it's actually not heavy at all. We're gonna pick that up and just set it over the top, and then we're gonna bolt the tower base down. So now we're gonna lift the tower up and put it in the center. And it's best, it's not real heavy, but it's best to have 2 people in a spotter because the top is a little bit awkward because it's kind of big. So it's best to just lift it straight up, walk it over, and then set it down inside. So now we have these slipped down on top of the bolts, and we're just gonna screw those down so it's nice and sturdy. This is gonna be the base of the centerpiece, and this is really easy. There's just 2 half rings, actually 4 half rings, and you put them together and make 2 rings. This is top rail on one, bottom on the other, and then there's 3 posts that go in there that connects the top to the bottom ring. It's really easy, just match up the letters with the top and the bottoms. We've got the bottom of the base, which is going to be covered in a black fabric, and it's basically like a big cylinder of fabric, and you just slip it over the outside of this base that we put together, and it zips together the same way as the top does. You just slip it on, and it's nice and tight, and then there's a zipper on the inside that runs around the top, and then another one that runs around the bottom. Pretty simple. So now we've stretched the fabric over, and it's easiest if you zip, there's zippers that run along the bottom. It's easiest if you zip those first and then stretch it up and then zip the ones around the top. And then we just propped this up on one of the higher levels while we worked on this and zipped this. So then once we were done, we just took this off and then dropped it down. Now you have your tabletop. Then to put the TV on, we just lifted it up, and there's a bracket on the back of the TV that has 2 forks that are sticking out of the back, and it just slips over this metal pole right here that's supported, and that's it. Then you can run your cables from the back of the TV into the holes, and they come down and then come out in the bottom right down here. So you should just be able to drop your cables straight down, and they'll come out in the bottom. Cut.